Regardless of where you're from, everybody loves a good curry. Everybody loves a good noodle. This is both. Khao Soi is a full-body, life-changing experience. Fragrant, creamy, rich, spicy curry with noodles to carry that warm goodness to your mouth and a big, fat, juicy chicken leg quarter? I mean, come on. Enough talk. Let's make this, shall we?
Our first step will be making the curry paste, which will be our base to our chicken curry soup. We'll then prep all of our toppings, including our game-changing noodles, which will both be on top as a crispy version and slurpable noodles in the soup.
So first we need to make the paste. There's two main spices, but the one I want to focus on is Chinese black cardamom. You want 7 of these pods. The pods are great, but they're all like dry and just put one of these in your mouth and try it, and you tell me if you enjoy that. Don't do that, you won't. But what you do want to do is you want to crack these pods open. You can use the bottom of a bowl, and the goal is that you open them up. Inside has what you want. That's where all the little seeds are, discard of the pod. The pod is really just the husk. The seeds are the flavor. Then to that we have 3.5 tablespoons of coriander seeds. That we're gonna toast in a pan. Now you can do this in an oven or a pan. I prefer a pan. Pan's so much easier. It's on around medium heat, dry pan, no oil, no butter, no shortening. And you're gonna constantly move these around the pan over that flame just until they're super fragrant and they got a little bit of color on them. We don't want them blackened, we just want them a little bit browned. This is gonna bring out the flavor, intensify the flavor, bring out those natural oils. You have to do this. This is non-negotiable. It's 5 minutes, please. All right, once those are toasted, you're gonna take them out, pour them into a little bowl to cool off. We're gonna char our veg too. We have 4 shallots, 2 ounces of ginger, and 1 ounce of turmeric. So first we're gonna peel the ginger and the turmeric. Got a little parchment so I can clean up my mess. Little secret, a spoon, not a peeler, not a knife, spoon. You're gonna press that up against the skin, just the tip of the spoon, and you're gonna push the ginger up with your thumb. You're pushing it past the spoon, and literally the skin scrapes right off. This is the best way to do it because it helps you get in those little cracks and crevices, the little gnarly bits. Because ginger is not a perfect thing. So you're gonna peel the whole thing, and you have peeled ginger. It's just like so easy. Okay, same with the turmeric. Be careful because turmeric does stain stuff, so I would be very gentle with this to not spray too much because it will stain shit, including your hands. I would wash your hands pretty promptly after doing this. And carefully pick that up, and your trash is gone. All right, I'm switching to gloves. I'm not washing my hands again, ever. So you split that in half. You're gonna notice I'm cutting this not on the board. Don't do what I'm doing. This is not safe at all. I just don't wanna stain this cutting board. So beware that this will stain your cutting boards. You're also gonna do the same thing to your ginger, split it in half. Same thing with your shallots, split in half. Once the shallots are split, just be sure to remove the little butt ends because we are gonna blend all this together. And now we move to the pan. This pan needs to be very hot, like medium-high heat. It could be stainless steel, it could be cast iron, just get it hot. Once the pan's hot, nice and dry, we're gonna put our ginger cut side down, turmeric cut side down, and all of our shallot also cut side down. I know, oh, it's dry. What are you doing? I'm scared. Well, fear not. We just want to char this. I don't care about getting any color. I want some burning to happen. Burning good. If you're having trouble getting this to stay, you can put another pan on top. You can also use these chef press things, which I love. This will just kind of help get them pressed down so that they adhere to the pan. And now we wait. 2-3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes, depends on the power of your stovetop. Time has elapsed. It's smelling like burned stuff. That's because we charred it, woo! This charring is essential to intensifying the flavor the way that we want. Everything should have some char on it. The ginger and the turmeric are a little harder to char since there's not a ton of sugar present in them, like there is in the shallot, but a little bit of good char on each would be nice. If you're struggling to char it, I may recommend a simple tool. That will definitely char it. Once that's all charred, that's going to go in a blender or in a food processor or whatever you got. Into that blender is gonna go your spices and 2 ounces of guajillo chilies that have just been snipped into like 1-inch to 1/2-inch segments. Make sure to remove the seeds. And then we're just going to blend that on high until it reaches a nice, beautiful, fine powder, just like this. And it's so fragrant. Once you blend this, I mean, it's ridiculous. That's like opening a fresh bag of Doritos, but better than Doritos. So once you've removed that, you're then going to add your charred vegetables, along with 4 cloves of fresh garlic and 4 teaspoons of kosher salt. Pop your lid on. And we're gonna blend this as high as possible. The higher, the better, but we're gonna start low and graduate up to that. Start there. Speed it up a little. Give it a second. Now, once that's roughly a paste, you're then gonna add your spices and blend again until as smooth as possible. Okay, this might be really spicy for your eyes, possibly. If it's struggling to blend, you can always add a little splash of water, not too much. We don't wanna water it down just to help get it going. Now, once it's all said and done, you should have a beautifully smooth, lovely red Khao Soi paste. This is the base. You gotta get it right. So before we cook this, I need to mention something very important. I might have lied to you. You see the Khao Soi paste you made, you're only gonna use half of. What? Look, I doubled the recipe because it's kind of high effort to make this paste. You use half of it in this recipe now and freeze the other half so you can make it again in the future. You don't have to make the Khao Soi paste twice. You can even quadruple it, quintuple it, make it as many times as you want, but I assume you're gonna wanna make this at least one more time. So, pan. In this case, we have a deep saute pan. This is a 5-quart saute pan. And to that, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. Medium heat, and we're gonna let that melt. Now, once that's hot, add your Khao Soi paste. Half of it. I'm just gonna let that saute, let that fry up. So you can tell it's almost there when it starts to stick to the bottom of the pan, starts to char a little bit. You don't wanna get it too colored. So we'll quickly go in with 2 1/4 cup of coconut milk. That's full fat, not half fat, not light, not coconut cream, full fat coconut milk. That's a good sound. You want it to do that. So you're gonna deglaze that by stirring around the pan, scraping up any stuck bits on the bottom. Then you're gonna add 2 3/4 cup of water. Oh my God, Josh, all that flavor is gone. It's gonna reduce. We just need to create volume for it to reduce. 1½ tablespoons of black soy, 2 tablespoons of just regular soy sauce, and 3 tablespoons of finely chopped palm sugar. Add a little stir, let that disperse. Increase the heat to medium-high, bring that bad boy to a boil, then reduce the heat to low so it's a nice light simmer, and you're gonna gently lower in 6 to 8 chicken drumsticks, depending on their size. Now, I know what you're thinking, oh, but what about the browning? You didn't brown them. You could sear them if you want, but a lot of the time in these recipes, they're honestly just poached in here, and I think it adds a subtlety to the flavor that makes this dish special. Now, once that comes up to a simmer, we're at low heat, you're gonna put a lid on and let that gently braise for 40 minutes. Check on it halfway in between, make sure the liquid's not reducing too much. If it is, you can always add a splash of water. But we want these tender, we want these succulent. Now, while that's going, we're gonna prepare all of our toppings and everything, because why just stand here and wait? So, first, wonton noodles. Something like that. You'll probably find them at a local Asian market, like an H Mart or 99 Ranch. These are both going to be a topping and in the dish. Obviously, the ones that go in the dish are just gonna get boiled, traditionally put in your bowl and your broth and all that's gonna go on top of it. But you can also do another thing with these that's traditionally done. You'll take the noodles and you're just gonna literally deep fry them until puffy and crispy. You have 16 ounces of noodles. You might as well use like around 4 ounces of that to fry to put on top, and then the rest can be in the bowl. These are a little too long to fry all at once, so we're just gonna cut it into like 3-inch segments. We have oil around 350 Fahrenheit, vegetable oil. This is in a 4-quart pot, fill about halfway up, so like 2 quarts of oil. Take your noodles and then just gently lower those bad boys in. We're doing that in batches, obviously. Now, once those are lightly golden brown and crisp and the bubbling has subsided, remove them with a spider and drain on a paper towel. That's it. Takes literally 30 seconds, maybe a minute max. Now, while that's still hot, I want you to immediately season this with salt. If you wait, the salt will not stick and then they all will suck. They're f***ing delicious. So next topping we have just raw shallot. Ew, yucky. I have a trick. I'm gonna take the tops off of 3 nice medium-sized shallots and then just peel them. Now, once they're peeled, you're gonna get a nice little mandolin, and we're gonna slice these as thinly as possible. You can do this with a knife. I prefer to use a mandolin only because it's super precise and all the cuts will be identical. So we have all of our sliced shallots, and then all we're gonna do is set these into the sink, run water over them, place a grate over it or something to weigh them down. We can also just pour water, stir them up, pour out the water. All we're doing is rinsing them off with water to get some of that sulfuric acid off.
Next, we're gonna thinly slice some green onions.
I like to just kind of trim off the dried ends. Personal preference, you don't have to. And you're just gonna slice these into nice little rounds. Some nice, refreshing, fragrant green onion. Now this is, to some, not optional, to others, optional, but pickled mustard greens. And you'll see this a lot on Khao Soi. And it adds a little bit of flavor, it adds some tartness. I like it on there. You could put it on hypothetically just like this. I actually like to run my knife through it a couple times, just so it's a little bit tighter. And when you stir it into the broth, you get little pieces of it instead of like a giant chunk. All right, after about 35-40 minutes, you should have tender, succulent chicken and a luscious Khao Soi broth. You can always add a little bit more coconut milk if you want it a little richer, but at this stage, you're gonna add 3 tablespoons of fish sauce and 4 tablespoons of fresh lime juice, always at the very, very end. The more this cooks, you cook out some of the flavor. Now, at this point, you can taste it. If it needs more salt, you can either add more fish sauce or a little bit of salt. I like to do fish sauce only to keep it funky. And of course, you can balance it with a little bit more acid if needed. So first we're gonna taste it. Always taste. See, it needed more fish sauce, quite a bit more actually. And then maybe a touch more lime juice. I like to try to get it as far along as possible before I serve it. Don't you want your guests to be happy? Don't make them do all the work. You could even add more palm sugar too if you want more sweetness. It's all about till it feels right. It's pretty good, dude. Let's finish this off. So we have our finished khao soi. It's seasoned the way I want. I've got all my accoutrement. Now all I need to do is boil my noodles. So you're just gonna boil these according to package directions. I want them al dente. By that I mean I want a little bit of chew in them. I don't want them complete mush. Please, dear God. You're pouring hot broth over these. If they are cooked fully and you pour the hot broth over and it turns into a puree, I'm gonna be pissed. And so will your guests. So once those are cooked through, take them over to your bowl, strain your nudes. Bang, plop them in there, all right? I like a lot of noodle, but you can put as little or as much as you like. Divide your noodles amongst 4 bowls. In each bowl, you're gonna place 2 of your drumsticks. Ladle in your broth evenly between the bowls. Top with pickled mustard greens, thinly sliced green onion, your thinly sliced and washed shallots, crispy fried noodles, fresh cilantro, and a couple lime wedges just in case. That is a stunning khao soi. Wow, look at this. It is beautiful, it's glorious. A little bit of extra lime juice for pizzazz. Unbelievable. It's like everything you want. If you've never had khao soi, the best thing I can compare it to is like, have you ever had like a creamy coconut curry? There's sort of a vibe there. You're getting that charred ginger and shallot and turmeric and garlic, but it's just like so fragrant in a way that I can't even really describe. The acid, the umami, the saltiness, it's so perfectly balanced. You got the noodles and the little crunchy bits and the soft chicken. This is the type of dish where you go, why did I ever eat rice with curry? The chicken like gives some of its flavor off from simmering in that. So it's like chickeny, rich, creamy. This is by far one of my most favorite soups in the entire world and probably one of the best versions of it at home by making it the right way. And honestly, it's not really that hard. Even if you skipped frying the wontons, it would still be delicious, although I do really like them on there. That said, make this soup, you'll be happy. It'll be a wonderful day. Love you so much. Subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to get the recipe in the link, by the way.